To close off this segment and this wonderful night, we will hear from a speaker who redefines the idea of success and of belonging. In her talk, The Future and the Idea of Leaving, Rethinking What Comes Next, Andrea challenges the idea that we must leave in order to feel successful. She invites us to question ourselves. She invites us to look at our roots and to think about things with renewed pride. And to remember that growth also means staying, that growth also means contributing and loving the place that made us who we are. So please help me in welcoming Andrea to the stage.
Has anyone here ever found themselves saying, as soon as I graduate, I'm leaving the country? It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter what it takes. Please raise your hands if you have. Okay, so have I. And let me tell you, we're not alone in this. Recent research by Gallup in 2023 shows that nearly 30% of young people in Latin America say they want to move abroad in search for better opportunities. And according to the IOM, youth aged between 15 and 29 are the most likely age group to leave their country in our region. And you know, this wasn't always the case. In previous generations, migration was mainly about survival, working abroad to help survive families back home. But today, it has shifted. Now, it's about education, opportunity, prestige, and sometimes even pressure. Throughout the years, I told myself over and over again that I would leave my country as soon as I graduated. It literally became my mantra. I thought leaving Bolivia was the only way that I could build a successful future. So when I was younger, even before starting high school, leaving seemed incredible. And I know lots of students here are going to relate with me on this one. Leaving seemed like freedom. Leaving seemed like independence. Leaving seemed like opportunities waiting just across the border, right? So let me share a glimpse of the dream I had when I was younger. I imagined myself studying abroad. And to be honest, it was a pretty amazing and honestly kind of unrealistic imagination, let me say, but that was my dream. I dreamed of being accepted in my dream university. At the time, that being Harvard. I dreamed of meeting amazing people that would be with me for the rest of my life. And I dreamed of sitting in classrooms where everyone had an idea that could change the world. And thankfully, I was able to experience a part of this dream. Last year, I spent a summer studying in Boston, in Harvard summer school, actually. So I was right there, right on the Harvard campus. And let me tell you, it was even more magical than I had imagined. The libraries were unbelievable, full with students studying quietly, surrounded by walls that looked like museums. Every corner full of possibility. When you walk through Cambridge, you would find more coffee shops than anything else, filled with students studying. Every building was made of red brick, and every street was alive with students rushing somewhere. Either in their bikes or just running, you could somehow feel the ambition in the air. Living in the dorms was quite an experience as well, since I had to share it with 7 other people. And I studied in those classrooms that I had always dreamed about. I met people from every continent, studied late at night, and shared conversations that made me realize how big the world really is. So yeah, Boston became my favorite city in the world. For those few weeks, reality felt like a movie. I felt like I was exactly where I was meant to be. It was was like getting a little glimpse of my wishes, like a small window into the future that I had always dreamed about. And that only made my dreams stronger. However, today is not really about my dream of studying abroad. Today, I'm standing here as a senior, as someone who is actually graduating high school in less than a month. I'm someone that for the last few months, my only thoughts were about the future and my decisions surrounding it. I'm here with a totally different perspective on leaving than the one I previously had. And that is the idea I want to share with you today. As I grew older, I started to reflect, to realize the true reality and the actual complexities that mean leaving your country. That idea that I had was not the perfect one. I started to ask myself questions like, why are we in such a hurry? And why do we sometimes talk about our country as if it has nothing to offer? Having said that, let me talk about our country for a minute. Because Bolivia does have something to offer, we just forget to see it sometimes. We have great universities and schools filled with passionate teachers. We have a growing industry that needs young people like us to move it forward. We have diverse culture, breathtaking landscapes, and people who are talented, creative, and hardworking. And something I realized only after being abroad is that here you also have opportunities to meet amazing people, to build networks, to innovate, to grow. Just like in Boston, here you will meet people who inspire you, challenge you, and share your same dreams and ideas. We just need to be more open-minded to see that good opportunities don't always wait abroad. Some of them are already here. When I imagined myself studying abroad, I was building a career somewhere better and coming back to Bolivia only for vacations, or maybe not even coming back at all. It was as if Bolivia was just the place I was born in and not the place my future belonged to. And I know I wasn't alone in this. Many of my classmates, my friends were saying the exact same thing. Maybe many of you here think so too. However, let's take a look at the other side of the coin. So yes, when we leave, we step into new experiences and opportunities, but we also step away from something that I believe to some extent can be more important. Our families, our friends, our culture and traditions, our memories and our sense of belonging, our home. And we risk leaving behind the chance to contribute to the place that has shaped us. I know Bolivia is not going through the best right now. I think we all know it. And we can even think about what is going to happen in the future. So think about it. What happens when the brightest, most motivated students all leave and are convinced that nothing here is worth staying for? What does that mean for the future of our country? Now, don't get me wrong here, okay? Living does have real advantages. Studying abroad opens doors to new perspectives, to world-class education, and nobody is denying that. It is exciting to immerse ourselves into other cultures, meet new people, travel, do stuff we have never done before. Yes, those experiences are important and can change your life completely. But let me share a story with you guys that will help make my point a little bit clearer. A while ago, I met a girl who was just like me. She always knew she wanted to study abroad. She was brilliant, and she worked incredibly hard to earn a scholarship. And as a result of it, she got the opportunity to go study in Spain. For the first few months, everything seemed perfect. Yes, she traveled, met new people, and she felt like she was exactly where she was meant to be. But over time, she started to feel something she hadn't expected. and the impact distance can have in your life. Not just physical, but emotional as well. She missed her family, she missed her culture, her friends, and she realized that she didn't have someone that was just a call away. So, a year later, she came back to Bolivia. Now, this was not because she had failed, but because she realized that she could grow here as well. And when she was telling me that story, she told me that leaving for Spain had taught her many things about the world. But coming back had taught her more about herself and who she was. And that has stayed with me ever since. Her story made me realize something very important. Not leaving right now doesn't mean you'll never leave. And staying doesn't mean missing out. Sometimes I think that there's this ideology where we think that staying means giving up, or that if we don't leave it immediately, we'll miss on our chance, we'll be missing out on opportunities. But do you want to know what the actual truth is? The truth is that the place you're at doesn't define success. Your purpose does. If you really want to achieve something, you can be successful anywhere. You don't need to be somewhere specific to be that best version of yourself. So, maybe we're meant to build something here first. Maybe it is also important to stay in order to learn, to grow roots, and to understand what we want to take with us when we or if we do leave. Because I am sure that if we end up leaving, we will want to go away knowing we're taking that best version of ourselves. Not the rushed one, not the resented one, not the scared one. And that's because leaving isn't about escaping. It should never be seen that way. Living is about expanding, growing, and when we eventually go, whether it is next year, a few months, 5 years, who knows, we should leave with gratitude, not with resentment. So, to my fellow peers here, if you leave, leave with gratitude. Leave with what your parents have taught you, what the school has taught you, what have you learned from that, and what have you made yourself to be here. Take Bolivia with you. And I'm not talking about your passport or your papers, but take it in your heart, in your pride, in your success, and in the way you will tell your story to the people that you will meet. And if in turn you stay, remember, staying doesn't mean settling. Staying can mean building, growing, preparing. Staying can mean choosing your own timing before rushing into someone else's expectations. Staying can mean developing that best version of yourself before you take your next step. And to the parents here, if your child dreams of leaving, encourage them. But remind them that staying or coming back isn't failing. It just means growing in a different way. Because leaving and staying are not opposites. They can be part of that same journey that you're looking for. You can leave to learn and return to give. Remember, we can leave to grow, but we should still remain connected to the place where we first began. So the next time you say, I want to leave as soon as I graduated, pause for a moment and ask yourself questions like, why do I want to actually leave? What will I be leaving behind? And what am I taking with me? Remember, staying doesn't mean you'll never leave, okay? Staying doesn't mean you'll never be successful. It just means everyone's path is different. And that, I believe, is an idea worth spreading. Thank you.
Bravo, Isa, bravo.